Thank you so much for being here. My name is Mike Sweeney. I'm the Director of Veteran Services, and I'm proud once again to invite you to the City of Lynn's annual Vietnam Veterans Day ceremony in honor of Vietnam Veterans Day, this year especially being the 50th anniversary of the end of the war. It's now my honor to introduce the Lynn English Marine Corps Junior ROTC. Present the colors. Please rise. I'd now like to ask members of the Lynn Veterans Council, President Charlie Griffin, and members of the Lynn Veterans Council to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is now my honor to call up our good friend Jim Smith, Army veteran, to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. I'd like to call forward Dean Robinson from the Lynn Veterans Council to lead us in prayer.
Uncover, please. Oh God, we thank you for the freedom we enjoy in our country and pray that our liberties will continue to be protected. Thank you for those who have fought for our freedoms and who have faithfully served our country. We honor their sacrifices and their courage. On this Memorial Day, we pause to remember those brave souls who did not come home. Bless their families and comfort them with the thankful prayers of a grateful nation. We thank you for our veterans, past and present, and ask that you help us continue to honor their sacrifices. Amen.
So once again, thank you so much for being here. I've had the honor of doing this job for 21 years. I was a lot less gray when I started, but I just want to say this is one of the most moving and important days of our year, where we come together, and I've been blessed since I've been here. This was started by the Lynn Veterans Council, these sort of programs we do here in the City of Lynn. People like Bob Laramie, Arthur Salkins, Victor Lozzi, men who really wanted to make sure that the next generation understood what Vietnam veterans went through. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for, in my case, we're lucky to have the support of our the mayor, the city council, the state delegation in terms of being able to put these programs together. They don't happen by accident. I'd be remiss starting off if I didn't say thank you to Debbie Smalley from my office for all of her help, and Izzy and his crew here for putting this all together today. If I could just get a round of applause to Izzy and his people who come out here. They're here every day. And we're honored to have with us here today representatives from Senator Crichton's office, Representative Sean Reed, City Councilor, Veterans Council, City Council Veterans Committee Chair and Iraq Veterans Nicole McLean is here. Thank you for being here, Nicole. And Ward 4 Councilor Natasha Maji-Medre. Other guests that are here with us today are important to recognize, and I want to do that before we get going. Every year, the Cahill family is here, and I want to one more time thank them for being here. They're here in honor of their loved and Kevin Cahill, but they're here at every other event as well. They're part of the community. Thank you to the Cahills for being here, and thank you for being here to keep that memory alive. Thank you. Doris Sarakis, Gold Star Mother, is here with us. Linda Cafferty, Gold Star Wives of America, is here with us. Thank you very much. Swampscott and Lynn DAV Commander Jeffrey Blonder's here with us. Thank you, Jeffrey. And as you can see, they're sprinkled in through the whole program because they're a significant part of what we do here in the city. So I want to say thank you to Charlie Griffin and the members of the Lynn Veterans Council that are here today that have really, in the last few years, really picked up and really been a real asset to what we do in the community. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you, Charlie, and thank you to the rest of the council. And with us, I should note too, there's a gentleman in the back, he's a veteran as well, Perry Kashida. He's a DVOP, the Veterans Representative at the Career Center in Salem. He's here, and I assure you they didn't send him here as a matter of course. He comes here because he cares, and he's now a Lynn resident, as I understand. So thank you for being here, Perry. Our first speaker is Mayor Jared Nicholson. He's here at all of these events. His staff supports us. Anytime we need help, they're there for us, and not just for ceremonial events. Just this week, we had a homeless veteran in our office. We called his office trying to get some help, and they were there for us. They were there, and right now that veteran is receiving the help they need in a shelter situation, but they're no longer on the street, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without the help and the hard work of his team. So I want to say thank you to you, Mr. Mayor, and ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Jared Nicholson.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'd like to thank Mike Sweeney and his team for Veterans Services for organizing this event. Thank you as well to the Veterans Council for all your work. We really appreciate it. Thank you to Lynn Veterans Council. I'm joined by my colleagues in government, the Lynn Police Department. I see the GAR team here as well. And most of all, I want to thank all of you for being here, particularly those of you with connections to those who served in Vietnam, to those who did serve in Vietnam, for being here to allow us to thank you here in person and for your service. And to all the veterans who are here, thank you for your service. We're here in Lynn Memorial City Hall and Auditorium, a beautiful building that was built just after the Second World War, as I'm sure all of you know, in a time of immense gratitude for the service of those who fought and won World War II and what that meant for the future of our country, and presumably a time of hope as well. And I imagine that when this building was opened in 1947, no one would have thought that a quarter century later, we would have been in the immense and trying challenge that was the Vietnam War and what that meant to our country. And those of you who are here know that better than I ever will, about what that pain would have been for those of you that experienced it. And I am so grateful that we're here in this building that was dedicated to the service of our veterans, so we have the chance to try to right some of those wrongs for those who were not thanked the way that they should have. And we want to make sure that here in 2025, we are thanking those who served, and specifically those who served in the Vietnam War, and we have this opportunity to do so here. And for that reason, I have this mayoral proclamation that I'd like to share. Whereas members of the armed forces of the United States stationed in Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War served our nation under the most trying of circumstances. Whereas the exemplary performance of Americans who served during the Vietnam War reflected the highest standards of bravery and courage. And whereas Lynn is proud of the sacrifices made by those from our city who served with bravery and distinction in the Vietnam War, most especially those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And whereas Lynn continues to honor those brave men and women who served in the Vietnam War, and for those whom we have yet to account for on this, the 50th anniversary recognition of the Vietnam War. Now, therefore, I, Jared C. Nicholson, Mayor of the City of Lynn, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2025 to be Vietnam Veterans Day in the City of Lynn, and urge all citizens of the City of Lynn to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. Thank you.
But it really is my honor to introduce to you Jerry Waldron. Jerry is a U.S. Army Vietnam veteran. His uniform still fits. But Jerry served in the U.S. Army and you'll hear his remarks, but you'll hear he served in the Army from 68 to 70 and 68 and 69 in Vietnam, in places like the Mekong Delta. The true mark of the man is his service. He came home, he did not forget that service. And in my experience, we would not have, whether it was at Breed Middle School and other places throughout the community. A couple years ago, just the Hibernian did an event. Jerry's right there to educate people because he's an educator, but to make sure they do not forget the Vietnam War, and more importantly, they do not forget the Vietnam veterans who served in it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to have him here today, Jerry Waldron.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, especially the members of my family that were able to make it today. My wife, Doris, my brother, Joe, his friend, Danny, Melissa, and Jeff. And I came from a family in Ward 7, near the Saugus River, and my family was back to World War I. My Uncle George, and I had 3 uncles who served in World War II. And in Lynn, at that era, in the 40s and 50s, patriotism was on everyone's sleeve. Everyone was very proud of their country, and it was just something that we assimilated. We sang the songs, we did the poems. Just this song sung this morning was a reflection on what we did every day almost in elementary school. So thank you very much for that. That was a great memory. And growing up in Lynn, it was a fabulous community. I don't care what people said around the world. I couldn't have grown up in a better place. I mean, what we had that other kids from Iowa and Nebraska and wherever they came from, we had at beaches, ponds, lakes, rivers, boys' clubs, great civic organizations that most communities did not have. We had. So Lynn is often disparaged, but that is so incorrect. I was very, very proud to be from Lynn, and I certainly still am. And I must say, along the tone of veterans, My wife Doris and myself raised our 5 children in Veterans Village in West Lynn. And right now, we're privileged to live in a little community off of Linfield Street called Woodland Village, and we have wonderful veterans in that community. Butch Barnes and Charlie Stoltz, fellow Vietnam veterans. Dave Solimini, the capo di tutti of all veterans. He is our godfather, and he is the greatest advocate for our community. And you just cannot say enough about Dave. And so I am very blessed. Even though we're here, I think to feel kind of sad about the way things went in the 60s. It was a tough era. And when veterans came home, they bore the brunt of a nation that was angry, frustrated, sick of seeing a war in which we weren't winning, politicians that didn't have the will to let us win that war, and the ordinary GI was the one who faced the frustration firsthand. But, you know, we were resilient. That's what the military taught us, and after a while, no big deal, on we went. So in my case, I became a teacher in Lynn, and one of my missions as an ex-veteran was to be part of Memorial Day and Veterans Days assemblies at our schools, and with the help of great principals like Warren White and ex-veterans like Lou Marini, whose dad was one of the founders of the Shoemaker Post, we put on for 15 to 20 years some assemblies that really tried to instill the camaraderie in Lynn of being a veteran and what we saw in our community, which was a community that, going back to colonial times with the colonial militias, we sent soldiers forward leading to the Revolutionary War. So Lynn was no stranger to doing what was right for our cause. So I'm very grateful to be here this morning. I'm glad so many of you were able to participate, and I hope that you enjoy the day and that we are all back here again next year. Thank you very much.
I'm going to blame all this on Dave Solimini, so I'm glad you mentioned him. Jerry doesn't know, but we're going to take a moment to acknowledge Jerry. If I could have his family come up along with the state delegation, city council, and Mayor Nicholson to say a few words. And members of the Veterans Council and Dave Solimini as well.
Thank you so much for those wonderful remarks. We really appreciate you sharing your reflections with us, and above all, want to thank you for your service. And so we have this plaque here. It says, Gerald F. Waldron for the City of Lynn in recognition of your faithful service in Vietnam and your continued commitment to our nation by inspiring and educating the youth of the City of Lynn about the importance of honoring those who served this day, March 31st, 2025. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Gerald. I'm from Senator Creighton's office. He could not be here with us today, but I am here to represent him. This is a citation from the Massachusetts Senate in recognition of your faithful service in Vietnam and your continued commitment to our nation by inspiring and educating the youth of the City of Lynn about the importance of honoring those who served. Congratulations.
Hello, Gerald. Thank you for your service. I am Councilor Nicole McLean, and on behalf of the council, I want to thank you for your faithful service in Vietnam and your continued commitment to our nation by inspiring and educating the youth of the City of Lynn about the importance of honoring those who have served. Thank you, Gerald.
Thank you so much.
It looks like your hands are getting full, so I think this is the last one. Mr. Waldron, it's great to be here, and thank you everyone for your sacrifice and service. This is from Massachusetts House of Representatives, signed by myself and Speaker Mariano and State Reps Armini and Cahill. This is in recognition of your faithful service in Vietnam and continued commitment to our nation by inspiring and educating the students of the City of Lynn. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. I would like to add, I know that Andrea Gale Bennett has been a wonderful advocate for women's veterans causes. And I would like to say, in our little neighborhood of the world, every woman, every household has read The Women by Kristen Hanna, and they are just overwhelmed with the story about a woman who served in the Women Army Corps in Vietnam and saw firsthand what was going on. It's a wonderful novel, and I advocate to you all. And thank you, Andrea Gale Bennett, for your words on that topic. Thank you.
So I don't want to keep you up here too long, other than to one more time say thank you to Jerry. We mentioned the Veterans Council last year, and one thing that's coming up this year, you'll see the flyers for Freedom Fish. That thing takes a lot of, like over 120 veterans, 125 veterans went out, fished for free all last year, is sponsored by the EDIC. Thanks to Jimmy Caudo and his team for that. At 5:30, I think it was, Charlie, Jerry was out there lifting tables. So when we say thank you for your service, we know it continues. So one more time, thank you very much, Jerry, and thank you to your family. There's a couple other people we hadn't thought to recognize earlier. I want to make sure. John Lazar from the Nahant Veteran Services Department is here. Thank you, Nahant. Members of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Lynn Chapter 908 are here. Thank you for being here with us. And you see the gentlemen out there in the red jackets and the red hats. They're from the Essex County Marine Corps League, and they're here with their rifle team. I want to say thank you to them. During COVID, and I've said it and I'm going to keep saying it, during COVID, there were families that would not have had a military burial and would have had no one at their funeral other than the immediate family if it were not for these men out there. So I want to say thank you to them one more time. Thank you. So I'm going to move forward. Again, every year that we're here, I always say it because it bears repeating. It was Dave DeFilippo, former commander of the PLAV, the Polish Legion of American Veterans, who years ago reminded us that we should be saying the names. We thought we were talking about the memorial and all that stuff, but sometimes the best ideas are real simple. We just hadn't thought of them, right? He's no longer with us, but I think it bears, I want to give him credit because, as I mentioned before, those are the shoulders we stand on when we do this. So here in Lynn, one of the things I'm proud that we do every year is we read the names of Lynn's fallen that are etched on the Vietnam, not only our memorial, but the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C. This will be followed by a moment of silence and a volley. Corporal Edward Anderson, killed in action, May 14th, 1968. Private First Class Frederick G. Atkinson, Army, killed in action July 9th, 1966. Lance Corporal Kevin A. Cahill, Marines, killed in action October 12, 1967. Sergeant Kenneth R. Carter, Army, killed in action July 31st, 1966. Corporal David A. Chisholm, Marines, killed in action March 15th, 1968. Lance Corporal John D. Evans, Marines, killed in action February 2nd, 1968. Private First Class Eric A. Fisher, Marines, killed in action February 16th, 1969. Corporal William J. Flint, Army, killed in action September 1st, 1968. Corporal Norman W. Grant, Jr., Marines, killed in action August 23rd, 1968. Corporal James J. Hazard, Army, killed in action May 20th, 1970. Private First Class John J. Malo, Marines, killed in action November 24th, 1968. Specialist 5, Michael L. McCafferty, Army, killed in action October 3rd, 1968. Private First Class Irving G. Miller, Army, killed in action October 17th, 1966. Lance Corporal Robert J. Nelson, Marines, killed in action February 13th, 1968. Corporal William J. O'Brien, Marines, killed in action March 28th, 1967. Corporal George A. Odeon, Marines, killed in action February 25th, 1970. Corporal Peter J. Panucci, Army, killed in action May 20th, 1970. Specialist 4, John L. Ramsey, Army, killed in action May 25th, 1968. Specialist 5, Carlton W. Upton, Army, killed in action March 15th, 1964. I ask you to please join us in a moment of silence in their memory and all those other who fell in Vietnam and those who have fallen since due to illness and injury due to the war. Salute the dead. Please rise. Please be seated. Thank you for being here. I want to make sure one more time I say thank you to the Essex County Marine Corps League for what they add to these programs, all their hard work. And once again, thank you for everybody being here. We hope to see you again next year. Thank you.